Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very tired, even though I shouldn't be, but I'm good. How are you?
Here?
Yeah. I mean, you accomplished a lot today, so that's something.
I did. Uh, it's been a crazy week.
Mhm.
It's been a lot kind of week. Uh, oh, hi. You're tuned into the Neurodivergent Convergence podcast. I always forget to say what the fuck we're doing here and who we
And
are
who we
and
are. Mhm.
yeah. Hi, I'm Nikki and I'm just here. And this is Amanda
And I'm
and
also here.
she's also here. Which is her favorite default response. It's fine.
Mhm. Yep.
Oh shit. Well, uh I told you I had a story just a minute ago,
Mhm.
and I intend to tell it. So before I do, this is a podcast where we talk about neurodivergent shit and our own personal experiences with such. I am some kind of neurodivergent, ADHD and possibly autistic. Amanda is also what kind of neurodivergent?
Uh, diagnose ADHD like you. I'm looking for like a autistic diagnosis because I also feel in that type of way.
Cool. Yeah, hi. So that's what we do here. That's what this is, in case you're wondering. Let me tell my story because I don't know how to feel about it. Okay, so let me just back you up. Okay, let's back you all the way up to Tuesday of this week. Okay, this past Tuesday, my son, youngest son, had autism testing in a town about 2 hours, like to the west of us, and so um road trips anymore kind of take it out of me. Like I'm really fucking tired. So we have to drive 2 hours there and it's 3 days worth of testing. So 2 hour drive. The first day is from like 8 to 3 in the afternoon. Second day is 8 to noon. Third day, 8 to noon. So it's 3 whole days of this shit. So come like Wednesday, day 2, day 1 exhausted the fuck out of me. I was just so over it. The amount of fucking paperwork I had to fill out was appalling. The poor kid was exhausted with all the people asking him all the questions. So we get to Tuesday, and uh I, as you know, have small bladder, right? Long drive, small bladder, not friends, right? Small whoa, words already. Long drive, small bladder, and the aversion of stopping once I'm on the road because I don't want to derail my my focus and progress on my trip. I just want to get there where I'm going. Really not good not good combo, right? Really not good combo. So, I did a stupid thing and decided to hold my bladder instead of stopping,
Which you
okay?
can't do very well, by the way. I just
Which
want to point that
I
out.
don't do very well. But I so badly did not want to stop the car. Like so badly did not want to stop the car that I was like, fuck it. We're going to batten down the hatches. We're going to pray to every god I know and just get there. Okay? So I am haul assing down a brick road really close to my house. Okay. I've had to pee for probably the past 40 minutes. I've held it for 40 minutes at this time, ma'am. 40 minutes of a full bladder. Haul assing down a brick road less than 5 minutes from my house. And there's these birds in the road. She's like, fuck, she already knows where this is going. I see the birds. Birds see me. And I'm thinking, they're gonna do what birds do and fly
And
the
fucking
fuck
move.
away. Right. They fucking, you got to move! What it made me think of. You have to move! Because I was about to piss my pants. So normally, I would, reduce speed slightly to give the birds a little extra time to flutter away. Today was not that day. Okay, we were not going to reduce speed. I was about to piss all over my vehicle So we did not reduce speed. But I'm thinking, again, it's 2 pigeons, right? Pigeons know damn well that the world does not stop for them, okay? They've got to flap the fuck out the way if they would like to live. Well, one succeeded. The other one, not so fucking much.
He was the slower of the two.
I hate laughing at this because I was just the way it fucking took place. Mind you, okay, while I'm haul-assing, there is a fucking minivan up my asshole as well. Okay, he is permanently parked up in my asshole the whole time down this road. You can't even see the motherfucker's headlights. So imagine his fucking surprise when I nail this fucking bird and fucking feathers explode from the
Oh my
vehicle and fly up over my car and all over his windshield.
That's what he gets. That's fucking karma for tailgating.
I don't want to laugh. It's so bad. I don't want to laugh. I felt so bad for killing that fucking bird. But I thought for sure that there was a bird stuck in my fucking grill. I'm like, I'm gonna get home and park this car, and I'm gonna have a bird stuck in the fucking grill like this or some shit. You can't see what I just did, but imagine like me dramatically flapping my arms out and acting dead on a grill. Ugh. Okay, so I nail the fucking bird. Feathers fucking cartoon level explode. Okay? Cartoon level explode. Like someone hit the front of my car with a feather fucking pillow. Explode. Land all over the fucking dude behind me. I pull in the driveway. Still have to pee. Okay? And I was like,
get Noah
I can't
out of
look.
the car and
I
everything.
had to get Noah out of the car. I'm like, I can't look. I can't look. But I looked. And, oh god, here comes the yawn. Oh, Jesus, seeing nervous yawns. Okay. I look, and there's nothing there. No bird. No signs of damage. I was like, where the fuck did this bird go? I'm like, it's stuck under my car. I know it is. So I'm like, fuck it. I gotta pee. I run in the house. I pee. And I go back outside, and I look. And, he's not under my car. I can't find him anywhere. However, I do have bird blood all over my white car. My white car is covered in avian blood, okay? It's everywhere. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Now what? How do I go to the damn car wash and explain this to the little attendant man who comes out and wants to help you with your transaction and spray the shit on your tires that I nailed a fucking bird and there's blood all over my fucking white car? Like, oh, it was all I could do when I hit it was go, oh, what do you do?
I one time had a bird. It was not, I think it was a bird. It was not like at nighttime, and I had a bird get stuck on my antenna of my car.
Oh, no!
Like, just flew right to my antenna, and I just, in the corner of my eye, see just little flapping, and, like, feathers, and I'm like, because it was dark, I couldn't really see that well, and I'm like, of all the things you hit a 1/4 of an inch wide antenna on a car at nighttime. You should be asleep, sir.
Oh god,
it is dark.
I have a soundboard for this. I have a soundboard button.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
I even sent you a gif of what I thought of was, I don't know if any of you remember, but in Shrek, Fiona starts singing, and just to show she's not that type of princess, the bird explodes. And so when you said like the bird exploded with a bunch of feathers, it reminded me of that from Shrek.
Yes, it literally was. And all I could do was cover my mouth, because like what do you do when you nail a fucking bird you weren't expecting to nail? Like, I have never seen
that bird. It didn't win the Darwin Award, okay?
No, it sure didn't. It removed itself from the gene pool. And its friend had a really bad day, okay? It was a really bad day to be that bird's friend, because you just watched your poor friend get nailed by a fucking car.
That was that bird's wife,
I don't want to think about that. Thank you. No. It was just his goofy-ass friend. Just saying. Oh, fuck.
Carl, what'd you do to Carl?
Carl, no! Fly, Carl, fly! Why won't you fly?
Poor little Tink Tink.
Oh, God, poor little Tink Tink. Oh shit! I wish we had a button for that. We should probably try to find a button for that. Oh god. Okay, I can't keep yawning this whole fucking episode. That's like 12 already. Jesus Christ. Oh, so that's been my week. Finished up the week with a short day on Friday because it was Noah's birthday. And Jordan has to go to drill this weekend. So yeah, that sucks. Did not even get to spend the day with his kid on his birthday. Cause yay, military. But then I'm just full of dumb shit this week. Cause what did I do, Amanda? What did I do? Tell the people
Forgot
how
that you owned a
stupid I
dog.
was. Yeah, I forgot that I owned a goddamn dog.
Yeah,
Ugh.
because I just get a message. I didn't get it until I got home. She's like, "So, I'm a dumbass. I can't really come down." She was supposed to come down today, and stay like basically spend the day and then stay the night to go to family day, tomorrow,
Right.
with Jordan and them. And then, but she messaged me. She's like, "So I'm not gonna be able to come down. Basically, I forgot I owned a dog and didn't do anything about that.
Yeah.
So."
So my dumbass, who has literally not forgotten about this dog one time since I received her, this is the first time I've had to plan for nobody to be home. So like I didn't think about it. I'm used to just being like, yeah, we'll be down whenever, right? Like I can just plan it around work. No, stupid. You have a whole ass fucking other thing that relies on you to let it go outside and go to the bathroom and feed it and all sorts of other shit it requires to stay alive. You can't be gone for over 24 hours and have no plan for the fucking dog. So it hit me yesterday as I was standing in my kitchen and she walked past me and I was thinking about all the different things I needed to do before we left this weekend. And her walking past me triggered the fucking memory that she's here and I have to have someone to care for her. And you can't just fucking go somewhere when you have a dog. You gotta plan for this shit. So it was stupid. It was stupid of me. And I felt so bad and very dumb. But it's fine. We figured it out. We're here now.
At least
We're
you
doing
got a lot
this,
accomplished
so.
today. I mean, if you
I
did
did
come down,
get
you
a
would
lot
have got all that stuff
accomplished.
done. So
You're right. I had some jank ass hair that I had to fix. So it's purple now, even though I don't really want it to be purple. I'd like to just be a pretty blonde and stop fucking with all these fun colors in my hair because I've grown tired of this. Grown tired of this life. And I just want to have low maintenance hair, of which vivid colors are not. So yeah, fix that. Did dishes, which is like the least favorite care task I have, like probably worse than anything else. Cleaned my bathroom. What else did I do? Made dinner. Ooh, I took my kids to Walmart because I needed things. That's another big thing. I don't take my children anywhere. I'm a terrible mom. I avoid it at all costs because it's like insanity to take 3 neurodivergent people into a Walmart on a Saturday. That's a recipe for fucking disaster.
on any day, really, but especially Saturday.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a productive day nonetheless. Did not accomplish everything on my main quest for the day, which was get my house together. However, we marked off several tasks along the way, which is good enough for me. What about you? What did you do today?
Slept too much. Which is basically what my plan was because I have gotten so little sleep this week. I just cannot get to sleep. Like I got 2 hours of sleep one day. Like my whole week this week has just been all fucked up. Luckily, my boss is like nice enough to where as long as I get my hours in, she doesn't necessarily care how that's accomplished. So, like I overslept one day, didn't get to work until like 10:30. But luckily, she didn't need me anyway that day. But she was also had people from another financial institution, where she was showing them a program that we use because they might be interested in doing the program. So she was just showing them that. So she didn't really have to. We didn't have to bother with each other that day. But I got there at 10:30. But basically, I just made up those hours by staying like an hour later one day, and then I just took like half an hour off my lunches each day, which is fine. I feel like sometimes an hour is too long for my lunches unless I'm like going out walking or something. And then So my whole week has just been all fucked up with me just sleep patterns. Like, I think there was in, like, 3 days, I think I got a total of, like, 8 hours of sleep, and so I slept 12 hours today, like, just trying to make it up. And then I did exactly 1 load of laundry. It's sitting in my dryer, so I need to actually put it away and keep up the progress of me doing everything in regards to my clothing, where I went through every single drawer, every single cabinet, all my totes of clothes, and organized them. For the most part, I need to finish my closet. It's just all hung up, really. I just need to, like, organize it sensibly. But then work was fine. I just did, I did a lot of research, which Nikki knows I enjoy doing research. Yeah, I like doing, like, ancestry stuff and all that, and, just research in general. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
writing papers, but I like doing the research for, like, if I could, like, do research and be like, "Okay, person, here you go. You can write a boss-ass paper. That's not me, but you
Right.
certainly can do it."
You
Um,
cite all the sources, give them the information they need, and then you go ahead and fucking write the shit. I don't want it. No thanks.
yeah, no, I'm not about that life. So that's basically yeah, basically, if I could, like, my dream job is, like, a mix of detective work, like fraud investigation, like just general research. Like I told my mom, it's like, man, if someone could like pay me just to like research their ancestry, it's like if you just if you get the ancestry uh um subscription, I will like I've been helping one of my coworkers with her like ancestry stuff. I got like ancestry like a subscription, like the world membership for like
Yeah.
$1 for 3 months. So I've been helping
Oh, hell
her
yeah.
with that and
I would actually love
found
to
all
do
this stuff
mine.
for her, but it's like yeah, I actually, years ago started like one for you, but because I didn't have any information, like I knew like your grandpa's name. I knew like your grandpa's name,
Yeah.
like and your dad's, but that's all I had was like I knew the people that
Yeah.
I've met or just to know heard you talk about, but that's it. So I didn't really have much to go
Yeah.
on.
I have like
But
some info, but it's not, I feel like it's not enough puzzle pieces to put together. But if we like pulled my grandmother in on this, she'd have the whole goddamn family tree mapped out in like 30 minutes. That woman
mhm,
has like every picture she possibly could have of every relative on both sides of the family. So,
mhm.
like on her side and grandpa's side, I mean. And then my dad had a bunch of stuff too, but um sorry. My throat is all weird. Probably from all the shit I
That
shouldn't be
was mine
eating that I've
yesterday.
been
I thought I
eating.
was getting a cold. I thought I was getting a cold. My throat was all
Well, and
messed up
fucking
yesterday.
corn is tasseling, and we live in the middle of a goddamn cornfield, so there's that. Right? Smack dab in the middle of corn. Just corn on
Mhm.
all fucking perimeters. And it's just death. It's a death every year in the fall. My allergies are probably worse in the fall than they are in the spring. So, anyway, uh it's already way later than we would normally start one of these. So, we should probably fucking get into it. What do you think, ma'am?
Sounds good. Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
Okay. AI story?
Yes, AI
Okay,
story.
cool. We're
Okay.
back on Jeremy. Jeremy's back at it. Oh,
Yes.
hold on.
So,
Before we go forward,
oh,
what are let's tell the people what your animals are this time. So, on the document where we keep track of what we did and when and all that good shit, she was given a liger, folks. Not a tiger, not a lion, a fucking liger. And then on our AI story document, she's a frog. So,
a frog.
of course, we picked the liger.
The like
So, today, Amanda is an anonymous liger.
yes, like I told her, I said, well, Napoleon Dynamite would be proud because it's a tiger mixed with a lion,
Exactly,
and he likes
exactly.
to draw them. So if anyone's seen Napoleon Dynamite, all my millennials out there. Um. Okay.
We
So
totally need to
AI.
find that and post it to this fucking. No one will know why, but we will, and it's fine.
So the sentence given after Jeremy the Psychic Cat's spiritual encounter, he was in a highly reflective state. Memories came flooding back of his life before he discovered his psychic abilities and before his secret government involvement, a simpler time of joy and freedom. One particular memory stands out of his time in school when he was only a kitten. He found himself having these memories during most of the day, so he decided to talk with a psychiatrist. He told him about the dream that he had before he found out what he was. The cat explained the visions to the psychiatrist, and after examination, it was determined that Jeremy was a psychic, and that the visions he was having were of events that occurred in his life as a kitten. After going through the proper protocol to determine his abilities and meeting with the top 5 psychics in the nation, Jeremy found that he was the most psychic of all cats.
That's one of my favorite sentences in this whole thing.
Oh, to him being a psychic was easy. In a way, his cat nature made it easier to be a psychic, and his self-taught abilities came naturally to him. Being a psychic cat didn't have to be hard.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Self-taught abilities came naturally to him. You don't have to teach yourself shit if it's natural to you. That bothers me. Continue.
Stupid. This is sometimes why I don't worry about the AI taking over. Okay. Being a psychic cat didn't have to be hard. All he had to do was sit back and watch. He was free to be who he wanted to be and didn't have to put up with the bullying of other cats. With a free spirit comes freedom. Most of all, he had the most fun. He would have mind-blowing experiences all day long, from telepathic conversations with long-lost friends to catnapping time travel in the bowels of Mount Olympus.
Sorry.
What? Oh no. All of this was possible because of his psychic nature. He did what he had to do to live a life full of limitless possibilities. Jeremy's education took on a new meaning when he began attending the nation's top universities. Like, all of them? Okay.
Sure.
After passing all the necessary exams, Jeremy made the move to be an official psychic cat being capitalized, by the way. He was also certified as a sensitee. I don't know what that means.
I have okay, hold on. We're going to pause because I didn't know what the fuck it meant either. I think they partly made it up, but also it's, I guess, a stress relief technology for meditation and relaxation. It says a groundbreaking innovation in wellness technology. A sensate uses the natural power of sonic resonance to calm your body's nervous system. So
it's kind of like a yoga teacher. It sounds like it's almost like a yoga teacher.
It's some sort of like technology. It's some sort of technology.
Okay, so it's like he's someone that teaches that because he's certified as that.
Okay.
He was also certified as a sensitee, but those weren't his best attributes. They were just a marketing tactic that needed to be used by certain companies to help spread the word. Jeremy never really cared about those things. He wasn't interested in the money, and most of the time he just hung around home. During his travels, he managed to befriend a few genies and Cthulhu on the internet, but they rarely they rarely let him use their powers. They rarely let him use their powers. Okay.
Yeah.
He did have some unusual experiences with them. I mean, I hope so with Cthulhu.
Right.
One of the most significant ones came while in possession of their powers. While he was a student at Ohio State, Jeremy befriended a werewolf. The two were always together at night, sometimes for hours on end. Well, I would think they would always be together at night. One night, the wolf was out with some friends and had a few drinks. It wasn't long before the werewolf started talking to himself. He felt that he was having a psychic conversation with someone else. The next day, Jeremy asked if he was okay. The wolf explained that he had taken too many drinks, was a little sick, and thought he had a psychic connection to someone. The two became best friends, and the two would have many strange experiences together. The two would sometimes have conversations that were beyond their understanding, yet so very real. One of those times, the wolf told Jeremy about an alien race that they knew about. They were invisible to the naked eye, but they were on Earth. He explained that they had many psychic powers. They could read people's minds, influence people's moods, and even help people that were going through an emotional crisis. The thought of being an invisible alien didn't sound too bad to Jeremy. They talked about how they would work together to help others with the psychic abilities. Soon, they were talking about how they would form an alliance with other psychic cats around the world. End.
Oh shit! I must include. Prepare.
It was at this moment.
Oh
that
shit!
he knew
Wrong one.
he
Just
fucked
kidding.
Up.
I clicked on the wrong one.
It was that
This
moment
one.
she knew
What
she
you
fucked
just
up.
said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points,
And
and may
have
God have mercy.
God have
mercy
mercy
on
on
your
your
soul.
soul.
So I'm
It
sorry for
was
everyone.
required. Oh, shit. Oh, y'all are gonna hear that one a lot, because it's my favorite. Oh, hell. Okay, so let's recap for everyone. Jeremy, after his spiritual encounter, started reminiscing about his time as a kitten. He apparently attended every top university that there possibly could be and did all the exams. Passed them all.
But most notably Ohio State. He lives in
most
California,
notably Ohio State.
But yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
He became certified
Certified.
certified as a sensitee. But he didn't give a fuck about that. He really just wanted to befriend genies and Cthulhu. On the internet, though, not in real life.
And a werewolf, apparently.
And a werewolf. Yeah, and he, while at Ohio State, became best buds with a werewolf. And that werewolf went on a fucking bender and thought he was also a psychic. But that wasn't
saw
true.
invisible aliens. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then on this, after the bender, apparently he was still a little fucked because he told Jeremy that there's this alien race of invisible aliens already on Earth. Yeah, and then they wanted to like take over
Men
the
in Black
world.
style.
Yeah. And Jeremy was like, "I'm down. I'll be one of those." So yeah, that's it for this time. There was much more past this, but it was way out of a wrong direction and would have gone on for ages, so I just cut it out. Anyway, let me yawn one more time. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, let's do the Mad Lib now.
Okay. Okay.
You're like,
So-
Jesus Christ, lady.
Oh boy. Give me a verb.
Boil.
First name.
Fucking Jeremy.
Fucking Jeremy. Verb ending in ing.
Brushing. Like brushing your hairy ass cat. Take that as you will.
Oh boy. Another verb.
Shrink.
Number.
14.
14. Animal.
Of course it's a liger. An anonymous liger. You
Liger.
could put anonymous liger. Yeah,
Anonymous.
you have to.
Okay, anonymous liger. Part of the body.
Okay, so I Googled this because I have a really hard time thinking of these things and I use the same one all the time. I Googled parts of the body with funny names. And I came up with an anatomical snuffle box.
Which is what?
Excuse. It is. I have the definition right here. The anatomical snuffle box is a broadly triangular superficial depression in the skin that emerges when the thumb is held in abduction and the wrist in ulnar deviation.
Not the name I would have given it, but okay.
You're like, sure. Google it, folks. It's real.
Oh, okay. Moving on. Another noun.
You're like,
Or a noun.
and scene. Moving on. Ornate Victorian canopy bed.
Fancy.
Because they
kind you
are
find a
very
ghost
pretty,
in.
and I want one real bad.
You ever notice, like, this just reminded me, you ever notice, like, anytime people talk about ghosts, they're not, like, they're always, like, Victorian ghosts. There's never, like, a ghost from, like, the early 2000s, like a scene kid. There's not, like, a scene kid ghost, you know?
There's no goth ghosts with the,
Yeah.
the razored hair over their face.
The skunk dye job, like
Yeah,
that.
the skunk dye job and the big bow, the big obnoxious ass
Mhm.
bow.
With the raccoon
With their-
eyeliner. Just
Yeah, raccoon eyeliner and too much bangs.
It's always a gaunt Victorian child.
Yes.
Okay. Another noun.
Ancient ruins. Or ruin. Ruin.
Ruin. Country.
Okay, I had to Google this too. Saint Kitts and Nevis, or Nevis. I don't know how the fuck you say it, but it's like islands somewhere. You told me where they were. Where are they again?
In the Caribbean.
Yeah, there. Yep, I pulled it up, but yeah, yep, that's there.
I don't know how to pronounce either because I've never heard anyone say it out loud. So
yeah.
Person in room.
You.
Okay, you.
And it has to be you, not me,
Just-
or like just you.
Just
you.
That's the word you. The word you.
Yep.
Okay. Verb ending in ing.
Undulating.
I just always, every time I hear that word, I just always think of Stranger Things now, like the undulating tentacles that they.
I need to like catch back up on that. I'm so far behind. I'm only on like season maybe 2.
The 4th season is so good, but you will definitely cry. Like I cried like 3 times in just the last episode.
I don't want to cry.
Then watch
Feelings
it with me sometime.
are bad.
Watch it with me sometime.
Okay.
Verb.
Suck.
Another verb.
Bite.
And lastly, type of liquid.
Expired milk.
Ooh. Ugh.
You're like, gross.
Ew.
Gross.
I mean, I don't drink milk anyway, but expired milk, gross. I mean, that's basically
gross.
cottage cheese, isn't it?
Blech.
Okay. So, we're in the 90s one, and the title is Game On. Okay. So, Kid says, "Can I boil one more level of Super fucking Jeremy Brothers on Nintendo?"
No, not yet. Oh, God. It can't be the first sentence.
So when I typed that out, that's why I kind of like,
You gotta do me like that. It can't be the first sentence. God damn it. I might have to mute myself or we're never gonna get through this shit.
No, I like that when you laugh, it makes it funnier when they can hear you laughing, because otherwise it just sounds like I'm being
Just
boring.
silence.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
go.
Okay. Babysitter replies, "No, you've been brushing video games all night. Your parents told me to shrink you to bed by 14 o'clock. Kid says, "What if I play a quick game of Anonymous Liger Kong? Or maybe we could play Golden Anatomical Snufflebox together." So the reference is GoldenEye, guys.
Yes,
and if you're
yes,
too
yes.
young, if she doesn't know what GoldenEye
If
is,
you don't
she's
know
too
what
young for you,
GoldenEye
bro.
is, get out now.
Yeah.
You don't belong here. Yeah, you don't belong here.
Okay. Babysitter says, "No, you need to get in your ornate canopy bed right now so I can play Ancient Ruin Raider." Like Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Yeah, Tomb Raider.
That
sounds like
works,
that's
actually.
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm almost at the level where Lara goes to St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
Kid says, "If you let me stay awake, I'll give you my new Legend of You game for a month."
Legend of You.
Babysitter says, "Oh no, you're gonna die on this one."
Oh no.
"No way. Go to bed right now, and if I catch you undulating your Game Boy, I'll suck your parents."
God, I didn't put fuck. Oh no. Because I was gonna put fuck instead of suck, but I was like, no. It would have been better. Oh shit. Okay.
Kid says,
Okay.
"Fine, but don't bite on my game cartridges anymore and get your expired milk all over them." The end.
Oh, ew. That gives me a nasty vision in my brain, and I don't like it. Gross.
Hell no. To the no, no, no.
This is dangerous.
Hell to the no. To the no,
gave Nikki
no,
too much
no,
power.
no. Listen.
And we will listen to every fucking second of it, and you will like it.
This is what happens when women have power, okay? We are given different stupid sounds on soundboards.
Oh, God. Oh, I can't. Okay. Okay, shit. Okay, I need to get a drink. Hold, please.
So, I
Fuck
guess we'll
off.
go on to what today's topic is.
Yeah, what the hell are we even talking about?
So, this is kind of like just everything for us seems like last minute, but basically, I was just like, well,
That
I don't know if this
tracks.
is a I was like, I don't know if this is an idea. I just thought of like something about school because my mom had given me like a box of like memory stuff, which included like 2 report cards, and I had seen like a video, like a reel or a TikTok of a girl going like, "This is how are you like a neurodivergent, like burnt out adult? Like, well, put a finger down," type of video, and it was like, "Put a finger down if teachers called you a joy to have in class, but also like you were caught daydreaming or you were caught like reading a book from another class and one like say you're reading a book from English class in your math class or basically stuff like that, or for like talking out of turn, not listening, but but you had good grades, that sort of thing. And so the 2 report cards I had, whoops, or from first and second grade, and I didn't fully look through them. I mean, it's just like one's like a piece of paper, like 1 and 2 sided, and then I was like looking over them with my mom when she was giving me them, and I was just saying, "Oh, like it says like refrains from excessive talking and self control, like doesn't practice self control." She's like, "Well, I mean that's how, or doesn't like listen very well." She's like, "Well, I mean, seems to you kind of kept that." Even as an adult, that's what you do now. I'm like, well, that's what happens when you have diagnosed ADHD, huh? So, I just
And
wanted
what
to
was
like
her
share some of
response?
them with you. She didn't say anything. She literally did not say anything. But it's like it wasn't like she was mad. She just didn't have probably
Right,
didn't have a
right,
response to that. Yeah.
right.
So I just thought that was telling. And okay, so I don't have children. Do they still do like report cards like with kids, like the whole like S for satisfactory, N for needs improvement, U
Yeah,
for
yes,
like
sort of, like, up to,
unsatisfactory?
like I think it's, like, up to the 2nd
It's up to
grade, they
second
put
grade.
that about
Yeah,
then.
third
Yeah,
grade they start. Yeah, so third grade's
like,
when they started
actual
like A,
letters.
B, C. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I didn't know if they still did that because I feel like nowadays to be like, well, we can't make kids feel bad, so we're not gonna have report cards. I don't know, but
Nah, man, they
so
still
I
do.
didn't. Okay, so I was just so yeah. So that's kind of like the theme. We'll get more into like a discussion, but I just wanted to like point some of this stuff out. Which one's this? This is my first grade one. So the and see that's like I don't know if it's
Yeah.
probably backwards for you, but yeah, it
Nope,
has
I can
like the
see it.
whole
Progress report.
yep, yep, and then whole letters and everything, and
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
comments and that your parents have to sign it and stuff. But so I have S's in like all of my all of my subjects for every quarter. Well, except for one. There was like I guess third quarter social studies. I did not understand concepts taught. Okay. And then like when we get to just general stuff, like even art, music, that was all S's. Penmanship, I got N's like third and fourth quarter. Because I didn't write neatly, which tracks. My handwriting's not the best. But then we get to like conduct. Um, I got N's every single quarter for conduct. For obeying school
Really?
rules. Yeah, which okay, so I am like a rule person, not necessarily like a rule person, but I get upset when other people don't follow rules that I, personally understand.
Yeah, we've
So,
talked about this before.
yes. And so there's 4 categories, which is obey school rules, refrains from excessive talking, practices listening skills, and practices self-control. Um and so I got check marks in all 3 categories of obey school rules, refrains from excessive talking, and practice self control. I guess the only thing I did right was listening.
No.
But I was a pretty quiet kid. But so I got an N, and then like I think study skills, uses time constructively, was the one of the 4 categories I didn't do well in. So use that tracks. I get distracted easily. Uh, so second grade. Let's see. Apparently I did yeah, I did better. Penmanship, I got N's in, every single time. I guess my penmanship got worse in second grade. I writes neatly, is check marked on all 4 quarters. Conduct, I got like S minus, whatever the fuck that means. N, and then my
Sort of
final grade is
satisfactory is what that
yeah,
means.
sort of,
Sort of.
I guess. And then that seems arbitrary to me, but okay. And then final was S minus. So I still had every single check mark, all 4 quarters for refrains from excessive talking. I did obey school rules all 4 quarters, but then practice self-control, the last 2 quarters, I have a check mark. And then study skills,
Gotcha.
I still have a check mark for uses time constructively. And then I just love the comment that the teacher put in the 4th quarter where it says, "Amanda is such a good, conscientious student." And so that just reminded me of, like, she's such a joy to have in class. That's sort of like put a finger down
Which
type of
basically
thing.
means you did exactly what was asked of you and never made a fucking peep other than when you were asked to talk, and always,
Yeah.
sat still and didn't bother anybody else and didn't cause problems for
Mhm.
the teacher. That's all that means.
Yes. But then even here, I have S's in every single, like, grade on every single quarter. So it's like, but I
Yeah.
guess my conduct was just awful. So that tracks. That tracks.
Great.
So that's kind of the theme
So,
is
okay,
school.
let's just Yes, okay. So, I kind of want to I know last week was kind of about you too, and I promise I won't like completely leave myself off from being grilled, but I I kind of want to pick this apart with you a little bit because from what I remember of school, obviously I knew you in high school, not when you were a little kid, but I feel like I wouldn't have guessed you were a chatty Cathy. Like,
Mhm.
and you were distracted easily because I feel like you were the smart one. Like, you always had your homework assignments turned in on time. Like, you always did like everything you were supposed to do. And I was always like the one who could give a fuck less of what grade I got on shit. I just wanted to get through the fucking day and go home. So I guess I always was kind of like, not, I don't want to say jealous. That's the wrong word. But like, I sort of wished I could be more like you in school because you just got shit done and I could give a fuck less. So, what was it really like for you, I guess? Cuz my perception I think is going to be much different than what it was actually like for you.
Well, I did a lot better in high school, like first and second, let's say freshman and junior. Oh my god, freshman and sophomore year, because I got straight A's freshman sophomore year, and then I started playing WoW, World of Warcraft, the year between sophomore and junior year. And then my grades started to slip. Granted, I still got A's and B's, but my grades started to slip because that was starting to focus more on that after school. I wasn't doing my homework as much, whatever. Even like my chemistry teacher junior year was like, I just want to make sure you're okay because, you were doing so well and now you're not. So, but that's probably may not relate to ADHD. It was just me being obsessed with the game that,
Well,
I
yes
was
it is. You
playing at the time.
hyperfixated on WoW. So,
That's true.
you
But
hyperfixated. It is
yes.
ADHD. Blame it on the ADHD. It is.
It's
You
not my problem, it's
hyperfixated.
my ADHD, okay?
That's right. Blame it on the ADHD. I wanted to sing Blame It on the Rain, but it didn't work.
So see, like, okay, so I will say up until like maybe, like I said, like maybe the past like 3-4 years, I never even like suspected I could have ADHD. It's not because it's like I don't fit the mold at all. It's just more like it just never occurred to me because it's like, well, I can't have ADHD because I can sit still. I do well in school, like that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
like we've
Like the
said,
whole
there's
little
no
stereotypes.
there's no like context for what it looks like in a girl. There just isn't.
Mhm.
There's no stereotype for what it looks like in a girl, so we weren't looking for that in ourselves. And
So
nobody
I
was
will
looking
say,
for it
like,
in us.
that is true. I did better in school in high school than I did in junior high. Like I still averaged A's and B's in junior high, but there was one quarter I got an F in literature
Oh.
because I didn't turn in a
Oh.
project. Yeah, I didn't turn in a project
In
because
literature? You
I
like to
know.
read.
I know. It was because it was a project that I had zero interest in doing. Like I
Ah,
did not turn
there
it
it
in.
is.
Yep, I could not for the life of me do this project. I don't even remember what the project was on. I remember we had to like create a book or something like like with construction paper, that sort of thing. We had to create like a book, and I just did not want to do it. So I didn't turn it in. So and that was like the main grade of the quarter, and I got an F. I think I still got like ended up with a B at the end of the year, but because I got
Oh,
like
well, that's
A's
good.
in the other 3 quarters, but
Yeah.
I ended up getting an F that quarter because I just and same with it in 4th grade, there was a science project I literally did. I did the morning of. I got a D on that science project because I did not want to do it.
I
And
mean, that
I
tracks
did
for
it
me. I did shit like that all the time.
yes. I did it the morning of. So if there was, like, a major project in school that I had 0 interest, like, I was n and I would not turn it in, and, we were in, like, the biological principles together, and I
Yeah.
got, like, an over 100 on that one because I liked doing it. So it's like, if
Right.
it's something I'm interested in and wanna do it, I'll do great. Or high school, there wasn't as many, like, this project determines your entire quarter grade sorta things. It
Right,
was more
right.
like you do a homework assignment, like a few homework assignments a week, and that's what determines, and, like, a test. That's what determines your grade. So if it was like a major project that determined like the grade of the quarter, I ended up doing worse because it's like if I didn't have interest in it, then I didn't want to do it. So
Right.
that's the main thing, and also we talked about the whole like we like the whole our ADHD self doesn't want structure, but our artistic self craves it. And so
Right.
like that was me. High school gave me a lot of structure where like I did a lot worse in college because I didn't have that structure. And like it's like, well, you can come to school. I'm not going to take attendance. You can come to school whenever you want. And that sucked for me because it's like
Mhm.
that I never went to classes. I only came like I still have nightmares of me like not going to class and or oversleeping the final exam or whatever, just general anxiety dreams.
Yeah.
But so I feel like you're right in the fact that like people thought I was quiet. It's I think it's at that point it's just because I was so like I don't know if I would consider myself super depressed at the time, but it's kind of like it was like beaten out of me of like you need to sit still, you need to do this and sort of that sort of
Right.
thing, like
You
do
were
your
so
homework.
heavily masking at that point.
Yeah, and so yeah, because I was in band, and so I had like that sort of outlet too. But so yeah, I think even like whenever I would like crack a joke, people were generally surprised, or like I remember there was people that were surprised when they like found out I was smart, which I guess because I didn't talk, because like most of the smart kids had to talk about how smart they were, right? But I was so
Right.
quiet. But like so that was my experience. I did better in high school because I feel like it was just a better structure for me than like other years.
Yeah.
Um and so when people always like say like I hate high school, I never go, high school sucks. Like I'm not saying that high school was the best years of my life. I enjoyed like I had a good friend group. I was bullied for being, I was the heaviest kid in class, the heaviest kid in our grade. So I was bullied for that. Um but I liked being in band, I liked the structure of it, I liked the majority of my classes, so it's not like I'm saying, like, that was the best years of my life, but it did give me the structure that I need. Like, even now, I have less structure in this job than in my previous job, so I've been accidentally oversleeping some days because I don't have
Oh,
as much
Jesus.
structure. I still make up my hours to where I
Yeah.
get the hours I'm supposed to have, but because my boss doesn't care as much, which is nice, but it's like, if my boss told me, "I need you to be here at 8 AM every day," I would be there at 8 AM every day.
Right, right.
So, yes. So, I've talked a lot. What about you?
uh so I mean for me, I've always hated school. I think I've probably said this before. I just a lot of things in school I didn't understand. Um More so like the arbitrary rules that were in place that made no sense. Like, and when one person fucked up, they fucked it up for everybody. That pissed
Yeah, I
me
don't like that.
off. And like all of these like cliques and clubs and jocks and cheerleaders and just so many like stupid societal things that I never cared to subscribe to. I heard I actually started listening to a new podcast very similar to ours, by the way, but it's two dudes. And
Mhm.
they talk about like very similar things that we do and have very similar sense of humor and stuff. But heard one of them say something like, um, I fit in well with just about every group, but never was a part of any of them. Never was really a part
Mhm.
of any of them. And that 100% fucking describes me. You know this. I belonged to nowhere, but could fit in anywhere. Like, I could figure out how to morph myself to get in just about any group. Now, I gravitated to the weirdos, right? The band geeks and shit, because that's where I felt the most at home and the most like myself. But I didn't play a fucking instrument. I had no business hanging out with y'all. I would literally wait for y'all to get done with football games and go eat with you like I played an instrument with y'all and I didn't. So like I would just wait outside the band room for everyone to be done and like slip into the fucking crowd. Be like, I am here now. Like, thanks for doing all the work, but I'm gonna come enjoy the fun, you know? Like that's basically what it felt like my whole life, is I just kind of slipped in wherever the fuck I fit, you know? So I don't know, maybe. And like homework and shit, I got decent grades. Like I never failed anything. The only thing I was in threat of failing was math, but that was not because I wasn't trying. I legitimately did not fucking understand. Like I really didn't understand it. Math was so fucking hard for me. And like it makes no sense because now I'm still not fucking great at it, but like I understand basic math. I understand multiplication and division. I understand addition and subtraction. I can do like business style math. Totally fine with that. You start throwing letters and fucking symbols and shit up in there and fucking geometry, out the fucking door. Like, I can't. I don't know why, it just doesn't fucking compute. So I struggled really hard with a lot of that shit. And again, interest-based learner. I could give a flying fuck about 90% of the shit we were being taught in high school. I swear to God, couldn't care. So it was really difficult for me to mask my way through the high school experience because I didn't give a fuck. I didn't care. I did not care. I wouldn't have cared if I never had to deal with, like, I don't know. I just couldn't wait to fucking get out of there. I was so ready to be done. Like you said, you enjoyed it. You enjoyed the structure. I couldn't wait to be fucking done. I wanted to leave so bad. So bad so that I graduated early. So it's like, get the fuck out of there. Like, I was out as soon as I could be.
And see, you
But
talk about not like, I mean, I know you didn't, like, you had like decent grades, but the fact that you graduated a semester early to me sounds like, like that, like, so you did okay. Like the fact is,
yeah.
like, most people don't graduate early. So
Yeah, well, I also like picked up different things like to get me out of regular classes, but got me like credit hours still. So like, do you remember when I was the like assistant? I think they let us do this like either senior year or junior year, where you got to pick like a couple electives and you could either like work in the reprographics room or like do like, I was an assistant in the auto shop, the auto body shop.
Mhm.
I helped the teacher out there.
Yeah,
And
I
it
was in
was
the
an
library.
excuse. Yeah, it was an
Yeah.
excuse to get me the fuck out of any other class that I needed to take, right? It was like, you have 2 hours of your day that you need to fill with whatever the fuck you feel like filling it with. And I was like, whatever is not learning, I'm there. Whatever I have to do to not learn, I'm down. So I picked the auto body shop and the reprographics room, which was like making copies for teachers and shit. Done deal, sister. I can handle that. Give me all the shit you don't want to do so I don't have to sit and listen to you talk to me about shit I don't give a fuck about. So that was what I did. I don't remember how I had enough credits to graduate early. I don't remember.
I feel like you I kind of specifically remember where you were actually 1 credit short when they realized it, and they just ended let you doing anyway. Because I remember you telling me, I forgot what guidance counselor you had, but I remember when because you told me later
It was
that
my
they
math
figured out.
class.
Yeah, they said you were 1 credit short of technically graduating.
Yeah.
So technically, yeah, you were actually 1 credit short, but they let
Yeah,
you just
but they
do it
let me
anyway
do it
'cause
anyway.
you were already gone by that point. So it's
Yeah, it was
like,
already gone when they noticed it, but it was because of my math class, because I started out in the class, like, what was it? Like, what did they call it?
it was like pre-algebra,
Pre-algebra?
wasn't it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
started in 8th grade, basically 8th grade algebra. And sorry, I don't know if you heard, that was my phone. I started in pre-algebra, and in order to like get enough math credits to graduate, you had to make it to at least algebra 1 or something, or algebra 2 something, or geometry something. And because I didn't, and only got to wherever the fuck I got to, it like left me 1 credit short. But they were like, fucking care, she's gone already anyways. But so they sent me my diploma. I graduated. It's fine. But I would have graduated with all my credits perfectly fine by the end of the 2nd semester of my senior year. It wasn't going to be a problem. And I think that's why they didn't care, because I was 1 short from graduating early, but I would have graduated with plus some by the end of my senior year. So that's why they didn't care. But
And see, like, you started not I mean, you took your electives, like, you did ones that, didn't involve learning, which is fine. I completely understand that. Whereas, like, I remember my senior year, one of my hours was I worked in the library, um, so that was one of
which
mine. Cause
tracks.
yeah, it tracks. That was one of my dreams, was like, I wanted to be a librarian.
Mhm.
But then that means I also have to deal with the general public, and I can't handle that
Yeah.
anymore. That's why I got the job I have now.
Mhm.
And then but then all my other classes, I mean, except for band. I mean, band is technically learning. I'm like, learning to play an instrument, but it's not like you don't have to take tests and stuff. You can be
Right.
as bad as you want in band, and they still have to let you play.
That's right.
Um,
That's what I should have done that,
you
I'm telling you right
you
now.
you'll be last chair, but I mean, as long as
That's
you just
right.
go to the yeah,
And I
but
wouldn't have gave a fuck, so that'd be the perfect last chair because I wouldn't have cared. You stick me at the farthest to the back. I don't give a fuck. Go for it.
But I mean, my electives were like I took Spanish all 4 years. I'm not the greatest at Spanish, but I took math all 4 years. English, I think English was required all 4 years. I don't remember, but I don't remember what classes were required all 4 years, but I did fill up my electives with the ones that like I just continued the ones that were required. Like I never did like typewriting because it's like I've been like playing online games since 6th grade. I knew how to type.
Right.
Like I did my mom had a Mavis Beacon typing CD for me, so I didn't have to do typewriting. I didn't do like auto shop. I didn't do the cooking and the home ec stuff. It's like
Oh, I
'cause
did
that didn't
those.
interest me. Yeah. That didn't
That I
interest me.
loved,
Like
actually. I was really
yeah,
into it
see
at the time. I thought I was gonna go to culinary school when I graduated. Like, that was the goal. I wanted to go to culinary school, and I took, like, the cooking stuff, like, as soon as I possibly could, and I took sewing, a home ec or whatever, did
I remember
sewing.
that.
Yep, I loved that shit. That was the kind of shit I liked. And had they had I was pissed. Do you know this? I figured this out because of where I work now. The high school here has a program with the community college where you can learn like the first half of fundamentals for hair school while you're still in high school. Like I could have
Mhm.
been like really close to being graduated, being a hairdresser. Like I could have done the whole graduate early thing and then go to class and been a fucking hairdresser and ready to go and been licensed by like a couple months after my 18th birthday, had we had a program like that at our school. Now, we did have other programs. We had the auto body and then like the CNA program and shit like that, which is great. But they have a hair program here. And I was so pissed off. Like, I'm happy about it. But I was like, why didn't I have that? Because that shit is what I really wanted to do with my life. It's what I've always wanted to do with my life. And circumstantially just never got there, which is probably part of the reason why I never really cared about my grades because I knew I wasn't going to college. Like I didn't want to. I wanted no fucking part of going to college. I didn't care about it. I didn't care about academia or whatever the fuck it's called. That was not me. I knew that whatever I did, it wasn't going to be anything that required a fucking real diploma for. Right? Like it wouldn't have certification at best, right? So I don't know. I just thought it would have been nice to be able to do that, you know?
Yeah, because it's like when I was in high school, I didn't really have any thought of what I wanted to be. Like I remember I originally like wanted originally wanted to be like a marine biologist, but then it's like because I had my diving license, I liked
Yeah, I
biology.
remember
But the thing
that.
is like it's like I liked biology. Like I got A's in biology, but I didn't like it enough. Like I wasn't like passionate about biology.
Yeah. Same here.
I
I
was
did
one of
really
those
well in
dolphin girls.
science.
Yeah, I just wanted one of those dolphin girls. I had dolphin shit
Mhm.
everywhere. So it's
You
like, oh,
did. You really
if I have
did.
a marine biologist, I can play with dolphins all day because that's what you do.
Mhm.
But and so I feel like okay, so I had this thought while you were talking about how like you wanted to do more real world stuff
Yeah,
in
hands-on
high
shit.
school. Yeah, whereas so I feel like for me I was more autistic in high school, and then once I graduated, my ADHD took over because I
Yeah.
didn't have that structure anymore. So my
Right.
ADHD took over, whereas in high school, my autism, like my supposed, my what I think I have autism, like
Mhm.
it was more prevalent in high school.
Right.
So it's like that's what made it to where I could focus more on school
Yeah,
and
because you didn't have a choice.
yeah.
You were forced into a structure that even though you didn't really want it, you were thriving in it, right? So like you
Mhm.
didn't know anything different. This was just how it was. There was no option to buck the system on that. right? It just is it just was what it was. And the whole rule following thing comes into place where it's like I have to be there on time. And like same for me, I think, honestly, too, because I didn't I had no issues with timeliness whatsoever. You remember, I get to school almost an hour early every day. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
I
I
would be
remember.
awake and at the fucking school, like, eating my breakfast in the morning when maybe 3 other people were in the goddamn building. Like, I was the first bitch there all the time because I hated being rushed. I hated it. I hated it so much. So I would get up, I'd get my ass together, and I walked to school every morning. So I was responsible for getting my own ass there so I could get there when the fuck I wanted to. And I think just having that hour of unstructured time in the morning where I could just sit and collect myself and prepare for the fucking chaos that was about to unleash when it got closer to time for the first bell to ring, it helped me to make it through the more structured time easier, right? Like I
Mhm.
was like I could flow right into that very structured, very on time kind of thing with less anxiety about forgetting things or being late and also like the putting off all the homework shit. If I didn't have the energy to finish any homework assignments, I would spend that hour doing my homework in the morning, especially my math
Mhm.
homework, because by the time I got home from fucking school, I was not doing any fucking math homework. You could forget it. I had already blown my fucking dopamine out of both of my fucking ears, and there was not an ounce left after all of that shit and all that fucking masking all day. I could not sit and focus on fucking math homework, which then that turned into, if you remember, during lunch, there was a whole year, I think it was senior year, because I knew I had to get at least a C in that class or a D, high D to a C in the math class before, or they weren't going to let me graduate early. And so every day at lunch, I would run down the lunchroom, get my food, run back down the hall, and because the next class after lunch was math, and my math teacher was so fucking wonderful. She let me sit in her office every fucking day at lunch hour. If you remember this, every day at lunch hour, she would let me sit there and she would go over the homework with me and work through it with me, which was also her lunch hour. She did not have to fucking give up her free time to help me with that shit. And I've always said I will remember that shit to this day because she was the reason I got to graduate early and get the fuck out of there. And she did not have to help me that way.
Mhm. Yeah, so basically she's like one of the types of teachers that's like I think all teachers should aspire to be like.
Yes, for sure.
Mhm. Like I never had her as a teacher. Like I knew she was nice, but I never had her for
Yeah.
math.
I still will call her Mrs. Lytle, though, because she was always Miss Lytle before she's Miss Pritchard, and I like Lytle better. She got married, and I was so happy for her when she got married, but she's still Miss Lytle to me.
I wonder if she still
So,
teaches there. I'm not really sure.
oh, I don't
I
know.
know Mr. Stout. Mr. Stout's retiring this year, I believe,
Yeah,
which
I
makes
should
me feel
fucking
old
hope
as
so.
fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
I
I
mean,
feel because I'd had him in 7th grade, and I had him in 7th grade. Then he moved to the high school
yeah,
about halfway through, and so I had him junior year and senior year. So I had him 3 years for math, and he was great. I
yeah,
loved Mr. Stout.
yeah. Actually, it might have been. It might have been junior year that I did that, though, because I don't think I took a math class at all senior year.
Mhm.
No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't.
I think
It
math
was
was
junior
required
year.
for 3 years. I
Yep,
think math was required for 3 years.
that's right. If I didn't get a good grade in math junior year, they would have made me take it again senior year. And I was like, fuck that. I don't care what I got to do. I don't care who I got to pay to get this fucking grade, but we're going to get it because I am not taking another fucking math class whatsoever. I was so motivated by knowing that I didn't have to take a math class my senior year that I was like, fucking, let's just do it. I don't care. But
Mhm.
so overall, in general, what do you feel like do you feel like had you known you had ADHD or autism, do you feel like that would have changed your school experience at all? Do you feel like there were really any good accommodations in place for us at that time? I don't feel like there was. Maybe I just didn't know about them, but
No,
like I feel like it wouldn't have changed much, honestly.
so on the flip of that, and this is just it might be just be a unique case, but like Mark was diagnosed ADHD and autism. You know, I want to say junior high ish, or at least
Okay.
late elementary school. He was in resource like, not special ed, not it was
Right.
basically resources between special ed
Yeah.
and regular school.
Right.
So, but Mark, to me, is also a special case because if Mark was allowed to have applied himself earlier, like, and, I love Mark, he's my cousin, he just spent, like, the past 3, 4 days at my house, but he is 34 years old, living with his parents, has never had a job. Like, they think it's because they treat his ADHD and autism as if it's just like a disability, like, in a
Right.
sense, where he's
And
incapable
he
of doing
really
anything
doesn't
else.
have high support needs. Like, he
No.
does, but he doesn't. He probably has higher support needs than you or I do. But I think, like you said, had he been sort of encouraged to do more on his own, maybe he
Yeah.
would be a little bit
'Cause
more independent.
I remember when we were younger, he did have meltdowns.
Yeah.
So, he did have, like, the autistic meltdown, so he is, like,
Hmm.
to me, like, higher on the spectrum, I would
Yeah.
say. But he wasn't allowed to apply himself, like, their version and resource of writing an essay was just write a paragraph that makes fucking sense. Like,
Yeah.
cause I remember him showing me, like, some of his homework, and I'm like, "Are you fucking serious that this is your homework?" And
Yeah.
he's actually, even though he's 3 months older than me, he should have graduated in 2007. He graduated in 2008 with me, so he took 5 years to complete school,
Yeah.
which is fine. I'm not, like, you know, degrading him on that. I'm just
Right.
saying, like, if he was like, so there to me there wasn't really a system in place for, like, ADHD or autism, because it's like if you had it or both, basically you go to resource
Yeah.
where
You were
you're
held
not
back.
really,
Yeah.
you were held back.
You weren't
You take
helped.
resource classes, we're just gonna give you easy stuff to do. We're not
Right.
gonna challenge you.
It
That
doesn't
sort of
set you
thing.
up for success. There's no, like, I feel like now it's a little different because I do have kids that are in the school system. And to be honest, I feel like they're much more challenged than we would have ever been in that kind of thing. Like, my kids go to a resource classroom, and Noah was in he was not in special education, but there were a couple of subjects that he would leave the class for and go to the resource room and be taught that subject, like reading and math. He was taught those reading and writing, sorry, not reading and math. He was taught those by the resource teacher so that he could have more one-on-one um help,
Help.
but it was still the same curriculum and he was still expected to have the same understanding. He just had more help getting there. And I think that's the best thing, because you don't want to make everything so easy that they don't have to apply themselves and they don't have to try and they're never challenged. Because first of all, if you're never challenging them, you never know what they're really capable of. And you you don't want to just completely assume that they can support themselves and leave them to the fucking wolves, because then they're learning nothing. But the same thing applies if you're over supporting them, right? Like,
Mhm.
you've got to find some kind of balance. And
It's
I
kinda
feel
like,
like
go ahead.
it's not normal, I don't think, but we have actually had one of the main reasons why I will not move right now is because we have an amazing fucking school system where these kids get everything they fucking need and are still challenged at the same time. And that's really fucking hard to find anywhere in the United States, but let alone in a fucking podunk Illinois town. So
Mhm.
that's my diatribe. Go for it.
It's to me, it's like he was like the resource classes they had at Marion, they were did not help in my experience. Granted, I obviously don't know firsthand because I didn't take them. I just know because my cousin took them, and I just remember him showing me his homework. But they weren't really encouraged to try as hard. Like, basically, it's basically like a diploma mill type of situation. Like, we just want you to
Right.
pass. We just want you to get graduated.
Right.
That's that's whatever. Whereas, like, for me, like, yes, I did well in school, but I was a slow test taker. Like, I was usually, like, one of the last people to turn in tests. Like, if I
Yeah.
was given more time, like, if I could have even done better. And that's kind of combination I mean. Like, I don't mean, like, we want basically, instead of having, granted, yes, like, if, like, my English class, like, my research writing class, we had to write, like, a 10-page paper, whatever, which didn't
Yeah.
interest me, and Scott will tell you, he thought it was hilarious. I would write the research paper. I would either get an A or B on it, but and I'm sorry. Now I'm blanking on her name. Mrs. Poole. I'm sorry, Mrs. Poole, but I lied about my citations. Like, I did the research. I did the research. I would write the paper, but I didn't care enough to, like, if I wrote a sentence out that I knew came from a book I read, I did not go back and cite the right source. I knew because she would not check my sources. I was like,
Mhm.
well, this came from, this book from this page. Is she gonna go check that book on that page? No.
No.
So I would just make up the sources. Like, yes, I did look through these books, and that's where I got my information from. But
Lie detector
anyways,
test determined that was a lie.
so
Sorry.
I was able, basically, for me,
face.
like, I was like,
I
I was
scared the
confused.
shit out of her.
I thought I was having a stroke. My God.
Face. I'm sorry, she was in mid-sentence. She fucking stopped and like deer in the headlights fucking eyeballs. She was like, oh, I realize what's happening here. Now I can laugh. Just watching the fucking wheels turn on that one was hilarious.
Delayed processing going on right there.
Yes, this is why we need to eventually get to a place where we're comfortable releasing the video of this shit. Oh god.
So anyway, oh my God.
Sorry.
So I would, like, I could never do a rough draft of a paper. Like, it was either a final draft or nothing. And so,
Right.
but for us, like, in that sort of class, when my point is, in that sort of class, like, okay, you're expected to write, like, 8-10 page paper. Whereas in a resource class, just write a fucking paragraph. Like, I understand, not like they might not be able to do a 10-page paper, but like
Right.
a 2 to 3 page paper, something like,
Right.
or like give them more time to do something
Right.
that, like, if it's like, if you want to write a 5-page paper, then give them like twice as much time as you would for someone that can write a 10-page paper in that amount of time. Whereas,
Yeah, I
like,
wish I could remember this lady's name, but there is somebody on, I think it's Instagram.
Mhm.
She's a teacher, I want to say, but she's really cool. She's got like super short hair and like tattoos and shit. And she did this whole long video about how what accommodations look like versus like handicapping somebody, I guess is what she was trying to say. Like, she's
Mhm.
like, the goalpost never changes. Like, the goal for everyone in my class is still the same. If I expect a 10-page paper for example, to be written, I expect everybody in my class to turn in a 10-page paper. But the difference is, this person can do that with no help. This person might need an extra day, an extra 10 days, help understanding where to find resources, things like that. She's like, their support needs change, right? And what they need to reach that goal is different than somebody else, but the goal never changes. And I think that's fucking brilliant. That's perfect,
me-
because you're not taking away the expectation, but you're offering help to get to where she expects you to be.
To me, that's like the difference between equity and equality. Like,
Yeah.
like I'll read you like the definition. Like, I mean, because I obviously know the difference between equality and equity, but for me to be more clear, like,
Yeah,
equity
yeah.
means equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources or opportunities. Equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates their exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome.
Yeah.
So basically, like, yes, equality, great, fantastic, but I'm not talking about like rights or whatever. I'm just saying like it's like, basically, like I said, like you and what you said, like, if someone needs to write a 10-page paper, but then someone has different needs, it's like, well, equality, like, they if everyone's equal, then everyone should get the same amount of time. But that's not true, because some people just either have a harder time like putting down their thoughts on paper, or
Right.
just have a time focusing. So, like, to me, like, in my personal experience, like, I'm no matter how much time you give me to write a paper, I'm gonna write it the day before. It
Right,
doesn't
right.
fucking matter. Like,
Right,
I'm just gonna write
same.
the final draft I'm just gonna write the final draft of the paper the day before. So to me, that doesn't really matter personally,
Yeah.
in regards to paper writing. But like test taking, like, if you give me 40 minutes to take a test, like, you might not, like, say a 50 question test, I might not get to the last 10 questions, and I
Right.
might just guess. So because it takes time for me to like process and read through it.
Right.
So
So, like, as far as test taking goes, I feel like that's another really good subject to talk about, thing to touch on. But before I do, I want to say this. I understand, and so does Amanda, I'm sure, that there are circumstances where someone really might not be able to write a 10-page paper, right? They really might not be able to, and that's fine. But we're talking about, in general, most people would probably appreciate that the goalpost was not changed for them. They just had more help getting there, right? And I
Mhm.
feel like that is equal opportunity in my opinion, right? Like everyone, like you said, the equity versus equality, but I feel like if someone's going to bitch about somebody getting help to get to where they're going, even though they still had to achieve what you achieved, I feel like that's really shitty because you didn't fucking need the help. They did. They still had to do what you were doing. They just needed help to get there and you fucking didn't. So what are you bitching about? Right? But anyway,
Right.
on to the test shit. So I was a shit test taker. Hated it. Hated taking tests because specifically, like those timed tests, right? Like you're talking about, like the timed math tests, you can fuck off. Fuck off. Hated them. Had I had to take those untimed, I probably would have done a lot better on them than I did. Like you said, like the last 10 questions, you're like fucking whatever in, right? Because you might know the answer, but you don't have fucking time to get there. So you're just filling in with whatever. And like, I feel that if everyone had an opportunity, like for me, I feel like if I would have had someone read the questions to me instead of having to read and then read the answers and then try to remember what I just read, what am I even answering, right? Had someone read the questions to me and then I answered them, it wouldn't have fucking mattered. I probably would have flew through the fucking test and it wouldn't I probably could have gotten through it at the same amount of time as somebody else. But like how did you
And see, for
do?
me, that would be worse because it's like my auditory processing. I've been like, "What did you just fucking
No.
say?"
I need someone to read it to me. Like I have to like they need to read it to I still need to look at it, right? My subtitles, I still need to follow along with what they're saying, like track with my eyes. But if they're reading it to me and I have a second to think about what they just said, then we're going to read the answers. By the time they're done reading me the answers, especially if it's multiple choice questions, right? I will have already circled one and been ready to go on. Like I don't need to process as much if someone is handling the reading portion of it for me. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, because I feel like to me that be like I understand that that assistance. I that would be more, I think, harder, say, because like Marion wasn't a particularly large school, but we did have like, probably 20, 25 students per class. So it's like, how would someone do that? I'm just trying to think like logically, like how would someone do that for, say, they needed 5 students that needed that resource? How
Well,
would
that's
one
where
teacher
you
do
would
that?
go to the resource room to take your tests. Like
Gotcha.
that's what you do now. So like
Yeah.
anytime there were several kids that I remember that would have to leave the room whenever they would go whenever it was time to take a test because they needed to take their test like either with accommodations like that or just not around everybody else. So
Hmm.
like that is where I think had there been knowledge that I was had ADHD or was autistic in high school, I would have had access to that resource where I could have taken my tests in another room with help instead of having to struggle and mask my way through trying to get through this fucking test and just guessing and getting a worse grade than if I would have had time to actually understand what I was trying to answer. So,
Hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, for me that wouldn't work just for my personal thing because like we talked about
right,
auditory
right.
processing. Like to me, it's like if some like I've joked, it's like when someone reads me the rules of like a game, like I've lost you after the second sentence. It's like I am not paying attention. I need to read it or we need to do it in real time.
Yeah.
So that would work for you. This is like how like for us, we might both have like ADHD and autism, but we had two completely different experiences
Yeah, we're
in
very
school.
different on a lot of things. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
In the like in that aspect, we're very different in how it affects us and how like each one pertains to either our personality or how we learn or whatever.
Yeah.
So
So
like
like
for
for
me that
me,
wouldn't work, but for you that would work for you.
right. Exactly. And like where you said like you just need to read it, I struggled really hard with working memory and reading requires a lot of fucking working memory, right? You have to be able and test taking. You have to be able to read something, hold that fucking information in your brain, then read a subset of things, especially if it's a multiple choice question, right? Read a subset of things. Then remember, what the fuck am I answering? What was the
Mhm.
question? What do these pertain to? Right? And even if I could do that for the first few questions, the farther I got down that fucking paper, the harder it would be to retain what I was reading. Reading in general, I hated reading because I could never fucking retain the first 6 sentences I just read, or I'd fucking disassociate and all the words would jumble around the fucking page. It was just, reading was a fucking nightmare for me. To this day, I am better off listening to an audiobook, or that's why I love podcasts so much, because I can find a special interest topic and listen, right, to that person teach me all these things, and I'll retain that. But if you made me sit down and read a fucking book on that topic, hell no.
Mhm.
We're gonna do it. Ready?
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
All right, I won't make you listen to the whole thing. So, hail to the no on some reading. I wish I could read and enjoy reading, but it's so physically difficult for me to read and retain that it's not enjoyable. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to do that.
See, like, where I wish I could listen to audiobook. Like, I can't listen. It's not like I can't listen to podcasts. It's just I don't really have. It's not that I don't have time to listen to podcasts. It's just my commute to work is 5 minutes, so it's like I would listen to 5 minutes of a podcast, start it again at 5 minutes later, and it's like, what the fuck were they just talking about 5 minutes ago? I don't know. And so, like, so I wish I could like read audiobooks because like I could do it while doing other stuff, but then
Yeah.
I drown out noise. Like, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm not focused on that. Like, I can have someone like, you talked about like you can have someone talking to you while you're focusing on something, and it sounds like the Peanuts teacher, like the
Yeah.
teacher from Peanuts. Like, to me, it's like droning in my ears. So it's like I'm able to basically fade out other stuff while I'm focusing on that. So it's like I wish I could, like, that's why I haven't been reading a lot lately, because it's like I have to kind of commit time to it,
Yeah.
time that I don't really want to commit to at this, like, at this moment, because it's like, yeah, I'm a better visual processor, and I'm like, I like reading, but it's just like, because I can't do anything else while reading, like I can't have something on the TV while I'm reading, because it's like,
Right.
it's hard for me. So I wish
Oh
I
my
could
god, no.
do
I could
audiobook.
never do that either. Like,
Yeah.
I can't listen to multiple things. Like, okay, so let me explain. Let me explain. So, I can listen to an audiobook, right? And I'm fully immersed in that thing. If someone tries to talk to me, I can still hear what they're saying. And I'm more so pissed off that I can't listen to both of you accurately at the same time. So then I have to pause what I'm listening to hear that person talk to me. I hear everything, but cannot interpret everything at the same time. So, like, I can't drown anybody out. I can't. Like, it doesn't even sound like Peanuts to me. Like, I hear all the noises all the time. So that's why background noise does not help me. Like, Jordan could stick on a fucking podcast in his ear, right? And be typing out a fucking novel while he's doing it. Listening to something completely unrelated to what he's fucking typing about. I could fucking never, like,
I just
never
mean
do
like
that.
I just mean like doing stuff around the house. Like, could you
Yeah.
could you do stuff around the house while listening to an audiobook?
Oh, for sure. I do it all the time.
Yeah, see, for me, no, because it's like I would be so focused on the task, like I would be drowning out what I'm listening
Yeah.
to.
I listened to 3 episodes of that show I was telling you about today while I was cleaning and doing my hair.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, like, even when I go walking in my lunch, I can have music playing, and I've talked about this before. Like, if I go walking in my lunch when it's not 100 fucking degrees outside, but when I go walking in my lunch and I'm listening to music, I could go the entire walk and not remember a single song, not remember, like, I couldn't tell you a single song that played while I was walking.
Yeah.
Because it's like I just drown it out.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
I get into my
I'm
mind.
not like
I
that.
get into my mind is my problem. I get into my mind. I start thinking about random shit.
Now, I can't say that I won't get a drop-in thought and then be thinking about something and then go, "Oh fuck, what did they just say?" and have to rewind it, right? Like,
Mhm.
I can do that several times and I will deviate in my brain. Like, I did it earlier when I was watching the Depp v. Heard documentary on Netflix,
Yeah. Oh,
and
I saw that. I was thinking about watching that.
I watched it and something popped into my brain and I picked up my phone, which was mistake number 1, and I started scrolling trying to find something, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, I just missed everything they just said. I forgot to pause my show." And so I had to rewind everything and start over. So, like, I can do that, but like I said, I can't listen like if I had a podcast on and there was a TV show going in one of the kids' rooms and I could hear it and something else, it would drive me nuts. I can't do multiple talking things at the same time. I can't do it.
That's why when we did like going back to the school thing, like state testing stuff, like when we had to all sit in a room, in a cold ass room, taking a test and hearing every single, like smaller classrooms fine because it's like, 20 people, 25 people, whatever, and all taking the same test. But when you have like 200 people all in a room and I can hear every single cough, I can hear every single sniffle, I can hear every single scoot of the chair, and it's like, that is like, I did a lot worse on state testing. Like standardized testing is absolutely bullshit because even
I
as
agree.
someone like me that got good grades, state testing was bullshit because I would get a decent score, whatever the score is supposed to be. I'd get a decent score, but I would have gotten a better score if you would have let me take that in a room not full of 200 people. Like,
Right.
because I was just focused. I was focused on the proctors or the teachers walking down the rows, making sure we're not cheating, every single noise going on, the fact that I was fucking cold and uncomfortable. And so
Yeah.
it's like, that's just miserable.
Well, I don't even want to get on a standardized testing tangent tonight because there is not enough brain cells left
And this
in the night for that.
yeah.
But I fucking hate them. We'll leave it at that. I hate them. I think they're stupid. There is no such thing as a standardized human. So there should be no standardized testing. That's where I'm going to leave you with that because I could get real angry about this subject if I let myself. So we're just going to leave it at that. School is already standardized enough without all of the fucking extra shit the state makes you prove that you're a real human on. No, thank you. It's like a robot asking you if you're not a robot.
To me, it's like the whole, like, the presidential testing for physical health. Like, granted,
Yeah,
I
fuck
am
that.
biased because I was the heaviest kid in class, but
Well,
it's
I
also
wasn't,
like,
and I still didn't like it, so there's that.
It's like, why does the
I wasn't
president
skinny,
care?
but
Why does George Bush care? Because he was the president.
Somebody
at the time. Why does
pushing
George
fucking
fucking Bush
pencils
care?
somewhere cared about that shit. That was for
Like,
someone to get money for something.
Why does he care how many sit-ups I can do? Does that affect me
They don't.
in my real life?
The state's
No.
bank account cares. That's who cares.
Mhm.
The state's bank account cares because that's how they determine who gets the funding and how much of it and where it goes and for why. That's all that shit is. That's all standardized testing's for. Period. In general, is how do we fill up our fucking bank account using these little robots we're creating in fucking public school? There we go. I done said it. Okay, I said it.
Getting political
It's
up
done.
in here.
It's done. I did it. It's over with now. Anyway,
This may
it's
be
10
the
o'clock.
longest episode we've ever recorded.
You're right.
It's been
It's
an
like
hour and a half. I just looked at it. Oh, geez.
I know. We had lots of story time at the beginning, though, so that's probably what did it.
Yes.
It was a lot of
Yes,
story
and
time.
we had a lot of thoughts. A lot of thoughts about school. Completely different thoughts. That's why
Yes.
we didn't really... It's not that we didn't agree. It's just we had two completely different experiences, so we had to, like, talk about each experience. Like,
Yeah.
So, but it was
And it was
good.
mostly about high school, other than your
Yes.
report cards.
Yes.
Because to be fair,
Well,
that's
it's
what I
like-
remember, so...
Yeah, I remember. It's also because that's our shared experience. We're both. I
Correct.
wanted to talk more about like our shared experience. Like we went to the same high school. Like
Yeah.
how like why two people with ADHD and autism, how they can have two completely different experiences even
In
at
the
the
same high school. Yeah, even at the same
Yes.
high school. For sure.
And that's why
See,
standard testing
we're
sucks.
not all
'cause
the
we're too-
same. Yeah, even the ones whose brains are fucked up are still different from each other. So there's that.
Yes.
The ones
So
who
take
got the
that.
brains with, half the cells still have problems. It's fine.
And half the dopamine, like
half
the
the
limited
dopamine.
dopamine.
Yeah, we got the limited edition ones. And even those are all different.
And they were the ones that we didn't get the early editions. We got like the late editions. Like
No, we got the reproduction version.
We were late in line. Like you might have been early to school, but you were not early to that line. No, you were not. When you're handing
ma'am.
out brains.
Nope. No, ma'am. It was that reminds me of that song Lump. Remember that song Lump from the 90s?
Yep.
Was it lump lingered last in line for brains and the one
I
she
will
got
admit-
was sort of rotten and insane. That one.
I will admit the Weird Al version, Gump, about Forrest Gump. I knew that like for years before I heard Lump. I'm like, a lot of songs from Weird Al I did not realize were parodies. Like I knew he did parodies, but a lot of songs I knew of Weird Al I thought were his first because I just heard them first for so long. But I know exactly what song you're talking
Like,
about.
a long, long time ago, in a galaxy, far away, Naboo was under an attack.
It's under an attack. If you don't want to watch Star Wars Episode 1, just listen to Weird Al's Star Wars story song. I
Yeah,
can't
you'll
remember
get
the
the
name of
whole
the song,
fucking,
but
you'll
just
get
listen
the
to that
whole storyline.
with jokes and everything. So there you go.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So it's now
We're gonna
delving
sing the
down
whole
into
fucking
singing
song
Weird
if
Al
we don't get out of
songs.
here soon. Yeah. I was gonna say we're gonna break out into the entirety of the fucking chorus here in a minute if we don't get the hell out of here. I feel it, but it's bubbling. It's gonna come out any minute now. Run.
My stomach's a bubbling.
Oh shit.
Boy! Now when we get down to this point, it's like, oh no, it's time to
It's
end
like,
it,
okay, we're
guys.
done. Yeah, it's over. Sorry about it. We
No more
haven't said
coherent
shit.
thoughts left.
Yeah, we haven't said shit about our social media, by the way, in the last like 2 episodes, 2, 3. It's fine. So we're gonna do that now.
Oh,
Let's plug all of the places that they can find us. Right now, it's just 2, 3. Discord. So Discord, Facebook, Instagram, at the NDC podcast. Please, when you're sharing your funny things, please use the hashtag. If the meme fits, share it because it's cute. And at some point in our lives, we're going to do a neurodivergent meme review. And we're going to click on that hashtag and we're going to review all the memes that have it at some point. Maybe video so that we can like share the screen and show the people the memes so that they're not confused as we talk about them. Yeah? Yeah? Sure.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, do that. Go follow us on all the things. Make sure you're following the show if you're listening. There's been lots of listens that aren't
We appreciate it.
swapping
We
over to
appreciate it.
follows. Yeah, so we love that you're listening, but can you like fucking follow the show, please? Because that's how we know to stick around and keep doing this. Because I mean, I know it's not always great. We're real professional, but it's still just like us, please. We just want you to like us.
We try to be funny. We try to be funny and lovable, you know?
We try to be funny, but
like,
we
please?
also just really want you to like us. Okay? So just do that. Share with your friends, any of your ND friends who like to have a laugh and have a ridiculous sense of humor like us. Share that there. They might like it. You like it, so they might. Yeah, that's it. That's all I fucking got. Smash that like button. and hit that bell icon so you never miss an upload from me. I watch too much YouTube.
And that follow button.
And that follow button. Smash that like button.
And the subscribe button somewhere. I don't know. The share button. All that.
Whatever fucking buttons you have, use them. Anyway, we gotta fucking go. It's 10 o'clock, man. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Okay. I love you, Minder.
Okay. I love you too.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.